Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for the Half a Nice Day podcast with your host, Joshua.
And Janine.
And finally, we've invested and we've got a camera, which I think Janine already had, so we didn't have to actually invest, but we got a camera and we're doing our first ever video podcast.
Yes.
And
It's exciting.
It is, and you can finally see us. You can see our quirks. You can see how much we move our hands. Well, me mostly, I guess.
Yeah, I try to keep my hands intact, but I think you'll see the Lebanese come out later.
Yeah, where she'll actually slap me in my face.
I don't do that, guys.
No, but
no domestic violence here.
No, okay. Don't lie to our listeners. But what's really cool, you can maybe finally put a face to our name if you haven't ever met us or...
And our voices.
Yeah.
Which you've only ever listened to, I guess.
Now you can actually get that visual rendition of the Half a Nice Day podcast.
Not just the cartoon drawings of us.
That's the only that what album art that we have.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is really cool. We decided to do this because we have a very special and exciting episode for everyone, and just to get the ball rolling, it's about how we actually met.
Your mother.
Hello, kids, and welcome back to...
No, actually, how we both met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very exciting story. It's something very unique, I would say, because I've never heard anything like it. Maybe you know friends who actually have a similar story to us, or something which you've also going to be hearing for the first time, because it has ups and downs, I would say, and
it's a great story.
Yeah, and it's like involves everything from us meeting in person to online dating to someone stalking the other person. I'm not gonna name names, but it is me. But yeah, let's get this episode started.
You want to go ahead? You want to
we can
start
talk
it
a
off?
lot. Yeah, let's start it off. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think you should start off because it's how you actually...
Sure. Why I was there.
Why you were there at that point in time.
Okay. So, late December of last year, we interviewed, and by we, I mean my other podcast with Hello Mamster Show. It was the first podcast that I've ever been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And it is mainly a Filipino podcast where we interview other Filipinos in the UAE. And we've interviewed Ate Ima Dumagay, who is the first woman comedian in the GCC.
That is correct.
So we interviewed her, and right after the show, she invited us to Kickers, where she hosts a bunch of other stand-up comedians as well. And they put out a show every Friday evening. So she invited us. I couldn't make it for the first time that the gang has been, invited to. I think it was late December as well, or early Jan. I can't remember now.
That's where I first met Kuya Epi and his wife.
Yes.
And
so you met them.
I met them first, and so that's why when I met them for the second time, it was like, oh, I already know you guys. How have you been? How's things going with the podcast? Yeah, but you were not there in December.
There.
Yeah.
I wasn't available at that time. I don't remember why, but the second time around, they went. And well, before that, they were raving about it. They're like, it's really cool. It's nice that there's an outlet for stand-up comedians in the country because, it's still not that big compared to other countries. And we're all fans of stand-up comedy. I am a fan of stand-up comedy. And when I was invited, I was really excited. So anyway, I went to Kickers January, 24, 25?
Towards, maybe the last week of January, right?
Exactly. Late January. And we came in. We were early. The doors weren't open at the time. So we were at the bar side and we were just talking to each other. And then they opened the doors. We went in and I got introduced to Joshua by Ate Ima.
But I don't remember this, guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember our first, hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, but because it just wasn't myself. It was the whole crew. So it was the whole Hello Mamster Show. We were introduced to them and other comedians as well. I don't remember the others. So we just said hi and then we started taking our seats. Slowly after the show started, they introduced a couple of comedians. I think Joshua's show was a little bit
towards the end. Yeah, I was towards the end of the bill.
Yeah,
but I think I know why I didn't remember you, because you know me before a show, my anxiety goes through the roof.
You're right.
I don't want to talk to anyone. So whenever I meet someone, like, hi, yeah, okay, let me go to the corner and let me get in my element in my state. So I don't remember who I talk to. I don't remember what I do. I don't eat before a show. I don't drink
Yeah.
alcohol, but water nonstop because my throat dries up. So
Yeah, and
maybe
he
that's the
gets
reason.
really
Yeah, I
nervous.
get really flustered, and I'm just like, oh,
His hands are really sweaty.
yeah.
And he's just in the corner. You'll see him rocking back and forth. I'm kidding.
It's like I'm planning a murder.
Yeah, so we were introduced to each other, but as a group, like not personally. And I remember the whole show, I really wanted to pee. But I couldn't just stand up in the middle of the show while a comedian was doing his set. And Liz, the host at that time, mentioned that if anyone wants to take a break, anyone wanted to go to the toilet for a toilet run, do it while she's speaking so that it doesn't disturb the comedians while they're doing their set.
Yeah.
So at one point, I just couldn't hold it in. And unfortunately, it was Josh's set at the time.
Like next up, we have Joshua, who's another comedian, and Janine's like, "That's my cue to leave."
Yep, exactly. So I stood up, went to the toilet, and I came back. His set was almost over, just a couple of minutes left. It was like a quarter left to your set.
If you heard because my last joke was I'm actually in a committed relationship at that point, which I was. So, that's my ending joke.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only joke you heard amongst everything.
Yes.
So that's when Janine was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's in a relationship."
So then I told myself, because okay, I'm gonna be honest now. I saw Joshua, and I'm into guys with tattoos. Okay, that's a weakness of mine, and he is just covered in tattoos. This guy. So I saw him on stage, and even before we were introduced, I was like, "Oh, cool. Who's that guy?" You know. Anyway, he came back in. He was doing his set, and he then mentions, "Guys, that was a joke. I'm actually in a committed relationship." I'm like, of course, he's in a committed relationship.
All the good ones are taken.
So I left it at that.
Yeah, you left it at that. But okay, so from my experience of this day, what happened was Janine said we met at the beginning, which I don't remember. And then I sat down with one of my friends around the table, and I started noticing Janine from there. I'm like, who is this girl? Because she came she dressed up really nicely. She had this really colorful hair. It's like a manic.
Blue.
I think it was blue at that time, yeah. And you were like a manic pixie dream girl sort of like item just sitting there. And I'm just like, this girl is definitely half Filipino. I knew it. Like, it's a half Filipino thing that we get. We know when we're around. It's like our sixth sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just couldn't put a finger on what's her other half. But another comedian before me, he's like, any Lebanese in the house? Because of course he's gonna make fun of Lebanese. And Janine proudly puts her hand up.
I didn't
and
know
I'm
at
like,
that time.
No, that's a trap.
I was so proud. I was like, me.
And then he made fun about how Lebanese wear really tight jeans or something.
No, he made fun about how Lebanese women have a lot of jobs done to themselves.
Oh yeah. That was a joke.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh.
Oh.
Okay, let me just retract.
So then from there, I'm like, okay, this girl's half Lebanese. Maybe she'll enjoy my comedy because I do speak a lot about being half Filipino and half Indian. But that's when Janine wants to go to the little girl's room and leave me at that.
I couldn't. I held it the whole time. Okay.
Yeah.
And, if I didn't go out, I would probably pee my pants then and there.
That's true.
Out of laughter.
Out of laughter,
you're
obviously.
Too funny.
Obviously. And another thing that I was really nervous because I have this joke which not insults but makes fun of Filipinos in a way. And I asked a lot of comedians, do you think I should do this? Because the whole Hello Mamster show was there. And we were 10 of you guys who came that day?
Yeah.
So I at the last minute I changed my joke, so I had to remove it. So I was also in that frantic, and my head was all over the place.
A headless chicken running around.
Exactly. And then, but when I met Janine after the show, she was introduced to me by
So Kuya Epi, one of the hosts of Hello Mamster show, introduced us to each other because he mentioned Janine. Josh is half Filipino, and then he then says Joshua, Janine is half Filipino. And I look at Joshua and I said, I knew it. I knew you were half Filipino. I could point at Filipino twang in your accent. And he looks at me and he's like, I said that on my set. That's how I open up my set. I'm half Filipino, half Indian. And then I look at him like, I'm sorry, I had to go to the toilet.
Yeah, because I was so surprised. I'm like, weren't you just here during my
Weren't you
set?
listening?
Yeah, it was like open your ears, woman.
But that's it. We left it at
we
that.
exchanged something I think about, do you speak Tagalog or something?
Yeah.
Did we do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I use my answer all the time, konti na lang.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that was it. Like he just said, I don't really know a lot.
Yeah.
And then we asked you to take pictures of us with Ate Ima.
It's like we love all the Filipino comedians and Josh, take the picture. Okay. We want a picture of all the Filipinos. Like,
I think if I'm not mistaken, we have one with you in there.
I don't know. But
I'll try
I
and
remember
ask-
taking a picture.
I'll try and ask someone.
Okay.
At least we can find a first picture together.
Oh yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and then that was it. We left it at that.
We left it at that, but Janine was still, she left a mark on my mind for some reason, and I was really smitten. So what I did, what every other person would do, started asking my friends, and I asked one of my best friends if she knows, hey, do you know this half Filipino, half Lebanese girl? I was WhatsApping her, and then she's like, no, I don't know who it was, and I'm like, no, her name starts with J. I forgot her name because I'm really terrible with names, guys. And I'm like, she's like, Janine? I'm like, yeah. She's like, Janine Kuri. I'm like, okay, I don't know her last name. And then she's like, oh yeah, she works in so and so. She does like, and then she sends me a screenshot of your Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, that's her. At that point, I was off Instagram, so I couldn't like stalk Janine in any way.
Yeah.
The closest I think I did to stalking was watching, because I was still smitten after a couple of days, and I watched her interview on the Hello Mamser show. And that's when I found out we have a lot in common. And it's really a breath of fresh air because for me, I'm like, there's a million half Filipinos and half whatever nationalities in the UAE. But Janine's podcast, I really related to it. Like I found out a lot of things that we had in common.
Did you watch my episode?
I watched your episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Hello Mamser Show, I have an episode that was just about me. That's how it started. I wasn't originally part of the podcast crew. They interviewed me for one episode and went well. And from then on, I was included in the other podcasts as well. Yeah.
Like I heard a lot of stories like about people not realizing you were half Filipino using Tagalog to talk about you behind your back. And that's when I'm like, oh, this actually happened to me as well. And I was like, oh, cool. That's really cool that there are people like me in the UAE because, you know, us half-breeds, or at least a lot of third culture kids in the UAE don't have their identity sorted. Like they still don't know what to say when people ask them where they're from.
Yeah, we always have an identity crisis.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Some sort.
Like I break down. I'm like, do you have 2 hours to listen to the story? But that was really cool, and after that it died down. But Janine always left like a sort of mark in my mind. I would say that.
Okay.
Because it was like a major crush, but obviously since I was in a relationship, I couldn't do anything about it, which is the right thing to do, guys. You can have crushes. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that make you feel bad. But the moment you act on it,
wrong. No. Yeah, but you're right. And I just wanted to, commend Joshua on that because he really didn't message me. He never, slid into my DMs or asked for my number or looked for my name on Facebook or whatever. Because there's a lot of outlets for him to message me.
Yeah.
Even on Instagram, I'm on public. Like my account is not on private. So you could have messaged me if you wanted to.
If I had Instagram.
And even a few weeks after that, you then became single and you never made the move.
Exactly, yeah.
So
the only way I was like stalking you was just looking outside your window. But other than that was it.
there.
Okay, it's 6:00. She should be home by now.
I know that she works for this company, so let me just wait outside the building. Yeah,
literally, I like have a log of where you're going. Okay, it's Tuesday, so she has book club.
So creepy. But that's a good thing. Okay, moving forward, lockdown.
Yeah.
So that was January.
Hit. Yeah.
Coronavirus happened. End of April was so end of March was when the UAE got into lockdown.
Yeah. Strict lockdown.
Very strict
Super
lockdown.
strict.
And at that time, I started a book club with 2 of my closest friends, my best friend and a close friend. I will not name them. That was a mistake earlier. I'll not name them now.
But you know who you are.
But you know who you are, and I love you guys. So you played the big part in this.
Matchmakers?
This is.
We will never know.
So we started a book club, and one of my good friends, she was telling me that she was dating someone, and they met over online dating, Bumble to be specific. And she said that they've been dating for a couple of weeks now and things were going really well. And the guy was in a different country, but in a couple of months, he will then move to the UAE. So she said, "How about you? How are you doing?" Everyone knows that I've been single for a while, almost 4 years, more than 4 years. And I told them, look, I am in that time of my life where I am not actually looking for a relationship and I'm okay being single. And it's
That's
true.
what every girl
No,
says.
it's true because before that, I would say a couple of months before that, a year before that, I was very, very desperate to find someone. Very much so.
Yeah?
I just wanted to be in a relationship. I'm like, come on now. I've been single for so long. I just want someone.
You miss that man in your life.
No, not really. I just wanted someone, a best friend, someone that I can, go out with, do things with, and enjoy life with. And at that time, when I was having my book club, I was really at peace. Like, I really felt that I wasn't in a rush to be in a relationship. I didn't need a man in my life. I'm that independent single woman, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, Destiny's Child. Okay.
And I made peace with that. And I said, look, God, if there's no one for me for now, like, help me to focus on the things that I needed to focus on. So then at that time, they gave me a challenge. So they told me, look, just try again. Now that it's locked down, there'll probably be a little bit more, how do I say it? Less playboy men on online dating. Less
douchebags.
F-boys on there. Because usually, and I haven't had a lot of good luck with online dating. I
But
tried
bad experiences on it?
Not bad experiences. I've met a lot of guys, but it just always ended up as friends. Like, I couldn't find someone that I could connect with.
What, did you friend zone them or they friend zoned you, or there was no?
I did.
You put someone in the friend zone?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it was a good friend zone. It wasn't like a bad friend zone, except
Yeah,
for
I
one.
love you as a friend. Like that.
Anyway, so they gave me that challenge and I was like, I don't know about it, but you know what? I'm up for a challenge. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I reactivated my Bumble account, and a couple of days after, lo and behold, I see this guy. So he was on Bumble, and I remember him. I remember him being that guy.
Wait, can I tell them why I was on Bumble? I was already broken up by that point.
Yeah.
Not that I was like.
So you've broken up Feb?
So we broke up around Feb, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is
I was
months
single on
after.
my birthday, yeah.
This was May.
Yeah.
So months after that.
Yeah. I waited the average of 2 months before you can start dating? 2-3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 months.
3 months,
Yeah.
yeah. The 3-month rule,
The
guys.
3-month rule.
Yeah. You have to wait 3 months until you start getting back in the game.
So he was back in the game and I saw him there and I remembered him. I couldn't remember his name, but I remembered.
You couldn't remember my name?
No, I couldn't.
Joshua.
I know your name is very common.
It's not a common name. It's an alpha male's name.
Can you stop?
It's the only name you should remember, if anything. No, honestly, you forgot my name? I didn't know this.
Yeah, I did.
Thanks.
But then I saw you there and I remembered your face and I saw your tattoos and I remembered you.
Okay.
Okay. But then I panicked. I panicked because he knows a lot of other friends. I met him physically and I don't know. I panicked and I swiped left. Okay.
No, that was actually the right thing to do. You weren't panicking. You was like, Josh left.
And then after swiping left, I actually regretted my decision. But then you can't take it back unless you've paid the premium price or something.
No, you can shake it. You can, if you're on Bumble, you can shake it
Okay.
to undo your decision.
Okay, professional Bumble.
I've had my fair share of online dating, okay?
I didn't know that. So I regretted my decision. But anyway, I swiped left and he's long gone. And because I put a lot of specific criteria in Bumble, you can put criteria to whatever you're searching: age, location,
Religion.
activity, if you're active, do you go to the gym, whatever.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of criteria that I have added in for the guy that I wanted to meet. And so I've swiped left, right, whatever. And I've reached a point where Bumble tells me, Janine, there are no more guys left.
There are no cards left, ma'am. You cannot be so picky.
Exactly. You've swiped so much. You have so much criteria that there are no more guys in the criteria that you've actually added into the app. So I told myself, why not move to another online dating app, Tinder, which I'm not very proud of saying because there is a stigma about people using Tinder and what it's used for.
What is it used for?
Why are you on it first?
No, I've never heard of any stigma of Tinder.
That's where I met you again, okay? So, anyway, there's a bad stigma about Tinder, but for us, it was a good, it was a good story. So I find him there, okay? This was probably a week after I swiped left on Bumble. I was in my parents' house, and
okay, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
I remember this was a weekday, so I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, and I see Janine's profile pop up on my Tinder, and I'm like, whoa. What is this? Have I stumbled across gold? And I see Janine and I'm like, I definitely have to match with her. So I'm like, oh, let me use my super like. And I press the super like button, but I'm like, it says, sorry, your super like. You have to wait another 4 hours. And I'm like,
how many
crap.
super likes have you given out, bro?
Dude, I give it like free candy. Like,
super like to you, super like to anyone.
You're a girl? Super like? You have hair?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh crap, I have to wait 4 hours. But there's always a chance that this profile, you can miss out on this profile.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, let me just keep my phone steady for 4 hours. Like, not move because the moment you change locations and stuff.
Yes.
I know that's for extreme locations. Like, if one day in
You're
Dubai
such
and then
pro
you're in.
Tinder user. What the heck?
Message me personally if you need any hacks, you need any opening lines, whatever, I can help you with that.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I cannot get out of the house because this was when lockdowns were starting to relax a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay at house 4 hours. I'm gonna wait. Desperate move, I know. And I'm like, okay, then the 4 hours pass and I'm like, okay, super like this girl. So I super like Janine on the Wednesday.
I can imagine you in your room just waiting for that moment for your super like to pass.
Has time stood still? I need to do other things. No, but before I super liked you, I did take a screenshot and send it to my friend. I'm like, guess who I found on Tinder?
Yes.
That kind of guy stuff. And then on a Friday, by the way, guys, I set my proximity settings really close, not more than 10 kilometers from me. Because I don't want to make that hassle of a drive all the way to a Sharjah to meet someone, or I don't know, Ajman.
As if you're super far
or
from
Dubai
Sharjah.
Marina. I don't know. No, I'm not going to make that drive just to see someone. Especially during a lockdown period. Like, the police will stop me like, what are you doing out?
Well, that's true, yeah. And I live quite far away from where you live.
At that point, you live very far.
Yes. But it just happened that I was visiting my parents at that time. And I opened my Tinder account and it then read that I was close to him.
Yeah.
Because my parents' house and his house are, 5 minutes apart?
Yeah, maybe 3 kilometers away.
Yeah, very, very close to each other. And so he saw me and I saw him. Well, he saw me first.
Yeah.
And when I opened my Tinder account that morning, I think it was a Friday morning at my parents' house, I saw his card right away. I think it was the second card because he super liked me.
Yeah, super like, so you get a preference on the other party's screen.
Yeah.
Like a 10 times chance of actually getting recognized by the other party.
Exactly. So I saw his card and then...
Did you know I super liked you or you just saw it as a normal...
No, I saw a super like.
Okay.
Yeah, because the frame would be different.
Yeah,
And there
the
would
blue,
be like a star. It's like
background,
shining,
everything,
whatever.
yeah.
So I saw him and he super liked me. I'm like, okay, that's really cute that he actually super liked me. I then started panicking again, but I was like...
Panic attack. I'm not a serial killer. I'm a normal guy.
This is why I was single for so long. But then I told myself, like, come on, Janine, like, what what's the worst thing that can happen, right?
Yeah.
This guy can turn out to be a murderer or something.
I'm not gonna cut your body up and put you in my fridge.
So I swipe right,
Yeah.
and then a couple of hours later, you messaged.
Yeah, a couple of hours because you have to play it cool, guys. But I saw Janine like me back in 1 minute of getting that notification, and I was like, no, because first of all, there were so many factors that came into it because we had so much in common. So I'm like, that already makes things easier on what we can talk about, what we can discuss.
Yeah.
And so Janine and I matched around, I think, early afternoon. So let's say like 12 or 1, but I sent out the first message around 6. So guys, you have to play it cool. Give it some time. Like, it's a weekend. You have other things to do, not glued to your phone. So give her that illusion.
Such a pro Tinder user, this guy. How long have you been online dating
Dude,
before
it's
you
way
met me?
too long. Way too long. I'm one of the founders of Tinder.
Anyway, we matched, and then he actually opened up really well.
Yeah, I remember opening up with something. I'm like, you know what? I forgot your name, even if I didn't.
Now I can put a name to that.
Yeah, now I can
Girl.
finally put a name to the girl with the
Colorful
colored hair.
hair,
Yeah.
yes.
Something about it, but it's like a callback to us actually meeting and just checking if she actually recognizes me and remembers me from that
Yeah.
night, which you
And
did.
when he said that, I'm like, yeah, you remembered. So that was, I felt like it was nice that he remembered that we actually met.
Yeah, of course. Of course I remembered you. You actually have a personality and a face which is hard to forget. Which I must say, it's not like any average girl, or you look quite unique.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
And
But
then,
our messaging was like maybe we would reply to each other every hour, but no, like after an hour.
yeah, we weren't like that eager to speak to each other, but it was a good opening message.
Yeah, and then we started talking and we
Mm-hmm.
were joking and just asking how the lockdown treated one another. You know the what's that, the traditional kind of small talk that you have to make before you move on into the next stage of the relationship, which is exchanging the mobile numbers or something, or
Yes.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I made it into a joke, which was like a cute joke, so it's hard to refuse and like put your guard down in a way, because I'm pretty sure your guard was quite high,
Yeah. Very
especially
much
when you
so.
match with someone off a dating site. Especially for women, women are more conservative when
Yeah.
it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I made it a joke. I'm like, what did I say? Something about, oh, do you wanna take our relationship to the next level?
Yes.
And exchange emails.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I told him about, well, what's yours? Something like that. I asked for yours first.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You replied with Skater Boy.
Skaterboy69 underscore 182
Something
underscore
like that.
Ronaldo. I don't know. Something. Those stupid emails you have back in high school.
At yahoo.com. Something like that.
Hotmail.com, one of those
And because
domains.
he made me laugh so much, I told him, look, just because you made me laugh, here's my
No,
real
Janine
number.
actually came back with a joke saying
Did
something,
I?
and then you stopped replying.
Oh.
And then I was like, okay, maybe she thought I was too straightforward, because this is the same day that we matched. So all
Yeah.
happened on day 1.
Yeah.
But then a few minutes later, maybe around 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, you know what? You seem cool or something. Here's my number. And I'm like, this is my in.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you
but-
stopped replying after like 10 minutes. You said something, and then I'm like, I don't know how to reply to this. So I'm like, and I felt bad first. Not bad, but like, I'm like, okay, that line didn't work.
Okay.
And then like 10 minutes gap, and then you actually gave me your number without me having to say anything. So
Cool.
yeah,
Were you excited at that point?
I was. Yeah, I was really excited.
Okay.
I would have to admit that. Then we moved things to WhatsApp, and within day 2, we started finding and understanding more about each other. Like, we both have a
Yeah.
passion for food, for books, for
I must say, since that time that we matched, we never stopped talking every day.
Yeah.
Like every day we would message each other.
that is true.
Like nonstop.
That is
Up
true.
until this day.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
yeah. So it's been what, 6 months?
6 months.
No more.
Yeah, well more. 7
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a
Almost
good
8,
ride. It's
yeah.
been a good ride. I'm very happy. I don't know about you.
Were you happy?
This whole time I've been blinking Morse code. Whoever can
Yeah.
read, like, I'm
Can you
trapped
please help
here
me?
in this area.
It's a crazy story, I must say, and there were a lot of people involved in the
Yeah.
story. Like a lot of people can say that they're the reason why we both met. But
No, but I hate those people. I hate all of you who know both of us before we even met and didn't realize to set us up. Like, were you protecting Janine or were you protecting me? I don't know, but you should have hooked us up before this situation even came
that
to
is
an
so
online
true.
dating story.
That is so true because I have so many friends who know you and you have so many friends who know me and they know that we're both into like I'm into guys who have tattoos, I'm into guys who are Christians, I'm into guys who are half and halves. So I'm just like, guys, hello. You could have introduced us.
I know, just think outside the box.
But no one thought of it.
No one
that
thought of
way.
it, but when we started posting stories that we were with each other and going out
Yeah.
and everything, it was like, oh, Josh, I knew him in high school.
Yeah.
You guys are so good together. I'm like, if we're so good together, why didn't you think of us? And like everyone is like saying like, oh, you guys are actually so perfect for each other and
Yeah.
everything like that. So it was good, like people didn't realize it, but now when they see it, it's like, oh yeah, everything makes sense now.
It
Yeah.
does.
Which is a cool story, guys. It's maybe, I don't know, destiny, fate, whatever you want to put and say.
Yeah, it was definitely God, I would say. Like, there's a lot of times where I prayed very, very specifically. And maybe this is a topic for another podcast as to how our relationship evolved from talking to actually, being together officially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone, I don't know if you, because we never mentioned it formally, but yeah, Janine and I are dating. If this whole story doesn't tell, like, what are these guys up to, I wonder? Where's the story going?
if it's not that obvious yet, we're actually dating
Yeah.
officially. It's been 6 months. Today is the
Today's our official 6 month together.
Yeah,
That's when we
since-
decided to
to
record.
take things.
Yeah.
No, but it's 6 months since we decided to take things to the next level.
Yeah.
and
So
officially
dating
each other.
steadily, yeah.
Yeah.
Labeling it
Episode 19. Today is the 19th.
19 years. I don't know.
It's
I don't
gonna
know.
take a while before 19 years. But yeah, I just wanted to say maybe my handy advice.
Wait, before you wrap up, or maybe I can do this story after the wrap up. But all right, no, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. But I just recently, maybe a few months after dating Janine, there was one time when I'm like, you know what? I actually know this girl even before the Kickers Day. And I started jogging my memory, and I came to that point. So there was a point when I was with my best friend, his sister, and me in a car. And that time I had a new girlfriend. So I'm like, guys, I got a new girlfriend. This is pre-Janine. This is like 3 years ago. And like, oh, who is it? Who is it? This is PJ, pre-Janine. So I said, guys, I have a new girlfriend. And it's just a new relationship, maybe within a week of me being with this new girl. And they're like, oh, what's her name? And he's like, where's she from? I'm like, oh, she was actually half Lebanese, half Filipino. And then they're like, what? Is it Janine? I'm like, who? Like Janine Kuri. I'm like, who? And then I'm like, no, my girlfriend's name is so and so. And then she's like, but I'm like, but who is this Janine Kuri now? Because you said it. Because they were so excited when they said Janine Kuri. And I'm like, show me this girl. And then they showed me your profile on Instagram this day, 3 years ago. I'm like, who is this girl though? She's really cute. Because Janine, obviously, her Instagram is well curated, really good pictures. Like you can see, she's a photographer. She likes doing outdoorsy things. And I think by then you had some Disneyland pictures. I don't know. So I'm like, well, this girl seems really cool, but no, this is not my girlfriend. But I think there's a pattern. I think I like half
funny.
Filipino, half Lebanese
This is
girls.
not my girlfriend now, but in 3 years' time.
In approximately 3 years, she and I will be having a podcast.
And we will be dating officially.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's my first ever memory of knowing or hearing about Janine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
My
Like
first memory was when I wanted to stand up and go pee.
this guy looks like this guy looks like I should pee.
Exactly. Maybe I should skip this comedian.
This guy looks boring. He doesn't look that funny. Yeah, so I cannot ever say that comedy didn't do any good to me. So yeah, so
Exactly.
this is I don't get paid for it, so I don't get anything for it. But at least I got a girlfriend out of it. So funny guys, there is a chance for you to get a good girlfriend, a great girlfriend.
And funny guys stay funny because funny guys are very cute.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Funny guys to me are the best type of guys.
Yeah,
Like, if there's one thing that is the first thing that I look into a guy, like,
so the first on the list is you have to be funny, hilarious,
you have to
whatever.
be able to carry a conversation and be funny.
Okay.
If you can't, I can't.
If you can't,
I can't. Yeah. That's it. So if a guy is funny, I'm right away attracted to that person. Like, zoop,
Yeah.
you're funny. Okay.
Okay, so okay. I'm gonna use that as my handy advice because I think you already have yours. Mm-hmm. But guys, if you notice, and if you guys are online dating, goes out to the men. If you notice, every girl's bio, they will always say, "Oh, I'm looking for a funny something, always something with funny." Obviously, they have other requirements like whatever. I want someone who's 6'2", not looking for hookups, all that kind of nonsense. But then the one common denominator in almost 99.99% of profiles is they want someone who's funny. So try to exercise that and be creative with your opening messages and how you carry the conversation. I think that will really go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Did your bio have something? I'm looking for a fun guy.
No, it was more of me. Like, I'm like what
Who
I
you
do,
are.
who I am.
I remember the
Not really
line:
what I'm looking for.
if you're looking for someone to bring home tonight, swipe left. But if you're looking for someone to bring home to your mom, swipe right or something. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay. Awkward.
Oh, it's like a
High
fist bump.
five.
After 6 months, we're still not in sync.
We still don't know what to do when we're around each other.
Yeah, but that's our story. My handy advice would be, and it's actually on my T-shirt. I don't know if let me just put this down.
You can zoom in onto her chest.
Not my chest, but here, my pocket. It says, let me put the mic back up. Okay, it says, good things take time. And my handy advice to women is that when you're in a desperate time of your life where you just want to be in a relationship, it's okay. It's okay because that is the time where you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on loving yourself, enjoying your alone time. Take yourself out on a dinner date. Go out and watch movies. Hang out with your friends, your family. Do things that you love. Because when you're in a relationship, you'll actually miss that alone time.
I know I do. So.
And I've been single, as I said earlier, more than 4 years before I met Joshua. I dated a lot of other men. I've swiped right to a lot of men. I've met a lot of other men and it didn't work. And, good things, just like our relationship, hopefully it's a good thing, will take time.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to wait because sometimes there is beauty in the waiting.
Well said. No, but that's actually really true because even I was in points of my life where I wanted to on to the next girl, But there are times like what you said when we're in a relationship, and Janina and I have had this conversation that we still want our alone time. We still want time to still focus on ourselves. We're not gonna orbit around each other's lives.
Yeah.
We will help each other in whatever way we can, but obviously I have my own personal goals, so does Janine, and we have goals together as a couple. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna address both of them and make sure that we push each other in the right direction so we get to the level that we desire.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why we both believe in having your own time as well, even if you're in a relationship. And when I say good things take time, is that you go out, meet people, meet other men, meet other women, and know what you want. Mm-hmm. Because when you meet someone who is in line with your values, who's in line with your goals, it will make sense. Like, there are a lot of men that I met, they're good. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad, but it's just that we're not aligned in terms of what our future goals are, our values, what we find important, and our love languages weren't in line with one another. So when I met Joshua and we both talked about what our future goals are, what we wanted to happen in the future, and right then and there we were
Transparent,
very
yeah.
candid with each other. You know, I told him, look, I'm in that position where I'm not actually looking for a game or, a very short relationship. I'm actually in this for, the long run.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for someone who is more,
Yeah, you were looking for endgame. We spoke about
yeah.
that in the beginning as well.
I wanted a serious relationship and I wanted to find someone who eventually I can marry and start a family with. And I know that other men will find that, a little bit scary. But that's how it is.
Yeah,
I was upfront.
you were upfront. Yeah, that's actually the right way to start an online dating dating online.
Yeah. Just be upfront.
Yeah, what do you want? Do you want something casual? Do you want something long term? Do you want something just for the winter? I don't know what you guys want.
Like, don't waste your time, But if you're both at that point where you're okay to waste time, then go for it. But
no judging. That's what I always say. Date as much as you can until you find what you want in a partner.
yeah.
Because some people say, "Oh, religion's not a big deal for me," but it does come to a point where there's going to be some sort of dispute over that, or your background is, maybe you're not compatible with that person's background or what they do for a living, or if they spend half the time outside the country. So it all comes down to your preferences, and if both of you can find common ground and be on the same page when it comes to a lot of things, then I'm pretty sure it'll be smooth sailing from there on.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it, yeah.
That's my handy advice. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think that's it. I think we covered a lot of ground today. There's still so many things that we haven't spoken about, like what happened in the last 6 months and how it grew from there, how it grew from that first date.
Yes.
Or how it grew from Janine asking me out.
Excuse me.
You asked me out.
I asked you out?
Yeah.
Like out on a date?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
So that's another handy advice. Girls, also put your big girl pants on and start making
That's
moves.
okay. Ask men out on a date.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Propose to your man. That's also fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but I would love to be proposed to. Wink, wink.
Okay, let's cut this episode. Let's cut that part out.
This is not going where we wanted it
We
to.
need to break up. We're going to also break up on a podcast, I think.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah? Okay.
No, guys, but if you enjoyed this episode and if you want to learn more about how it progressed from, the first time we've matched and the first day that I've shared my number to him, let us know and we'll put out another episode. But not the next one.
Yeah, not the next one.
Because the next one we're going to be talking about Christmas and end of year. And on that note, we just want to say
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone, whoever's celebrating it. Happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish people.
friends.
Shalom. But yeah, happy holidays, everyone. Hope everyone is keeping safe. Try to follow all the rules that the UAE has in place or whatever respective country that you are in. Just limit your social gatherings to a certain number of people and just stay safe. Wash your hands, brush your teeth. That's not a rule, but
Take a shower.
Still brush your teeth. That's always good advice. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Let us know, guys, if there's any comment or any topic that you'd like us to talk about. You can send us or slide into our DMs on Instagram. It's at Have a Nice Day Podcast. Or you can send us an email at haveanicedayShow@gmail.com. If you want to remain anonymous, you can send us our handy advice form. Just fill it out. It's in our link in bio on Instagram. We will also link it up in the show notes. If you enjoyed this podcast and all of our other episodes, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to this podcast on Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your
That
podcasts.
was so good.
Yeah?
I was so nervous because we're doing this in one take. We're not gonna edit this episode, but that was so good.
Yeah, thank
It's so
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have
Awesome.
to step up my game for next week.
Because you will be ending and
And
I'll be.
thank you, half.
Thank you so much, guys. And on that note,
Have a nice
day. Wow.
That was so good.
Thank you, guys. We love you.
We like you as a friend.
Bye.
Bye.